Cool. Quanti. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I already said we was. Hmm. Hmm. Nope. Got some gummies over here actually. Hmm. Fireball and Coca Cola. Like I ain't gotta work tomorrow. That's what I got over here right now. I got me some. I got me some water.
Too hot right
I
now.
got that water. Okay.
Ice, ice.
Hey, look, man, you from the DMV and you hear Baltimore Comic Con, you know what I'm talking about.
21
Ice, ice,
flavor.
ice, ice. We gotta stop singing that joint. My man probably got that joint. It's probably copywritten.
Yeah, we better
He
stop
probably ain't
before
allowed
they
to say it.
Right.
start blocking our feeds and stuff.
On all
Gotta
streaming
get that.
services right
Gotta
now.
get that copyright strike. You know what I mean? All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've had some time for people to kind of jump in, see that we're running live. You know what I'm talking about. I want to welcome everybody here and everybody who's watching to Cutscenes. This is where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in video games because cutscenes are
The
Best
best
part
part
of
of
the
the
game.
game.
man's in them. My man's in them. So I'm your boy Gage. Sin is in the building.
Yes, sir.
Joke is in the building.
Yo.
Special returning guest, one time
Hey.
only ever. The guy Coop, the guy Coop is back in the building. Coop, man, how you been?
Cool.
Good, man. I'm feeling good. I've been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
Tell
been
me anything.
I've been quarantining before the quarantine, just
Oh,
Quarantining
okay.
before the
You were
quarantine.
already a quarantine expert when it popped off.
yeah.
I dig that. I dig that. Listen, I want you guys to know we have a lot to discuss. I'm gonna be real. I don't know that we're gonna get to all of it.
Oh.
Because it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, here's what I want to do. I want to start with. Did you guys see the numbers from MPD?
Mm-mm.
All right. So listen, we're just gonna run this down real quick, just because. Um, man, there were some amazing numbers from last month, which makes sense because so many people are quarantining at home.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think that these numbers sincerely speak to what an impact video games are having on the lives of people, especially right now, as they're stuck at home looking for things to do, trying to find things. And like, there have been some obvious things that have hit, like Animal Crossing clearly
Yeah.
is a thing
It's a thing.
across the Twitterverse, the news. Like everybody's doing it. They're doing shows and stuff in it. Like it's a serious thing. But here's the thing that's interesting to me. So, video game hardware is way up. When I say way up, I mean all the way up.
Oh,
We're talking like 163%.
ooh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And when I say that, I don't mean that as like in combination. I mean like literally individually, Nintendo is up 163% in hardware. Microsoft is up 163% in hardware. PlayStation is up 163% in hardware. Like each of them individually is up in hardware. People are buying systems like
Yeah.
across the board. So I'm gonna do a little rundown, okay? But it's crazy. So total video game sales for April of 2019
Mm-hmm.
was 846 million.
Jeez.
April of 2020, listen to me, 1,466,000,000.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Bro, it's up 73%. That's crazy.
Jeez.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. People can't even go out.
At all.
People going out. So like I said, video game hardware up 163% overall, but last year in April it was 160 million. This year, $420 million in hardware sales.
Yeah.
Now the first one was total video game sales. That was hardware sales. Video game software. This is physical and full game digital formats. This is Nintendo eShop. This is PlayStation, Steam, Xbox platforms. Up 55%, $662 million this year versus 428 last year. Accessories and game cards up 49%. Like, it's way up. Like, way up. Now, I don't know that this is something that can be sustained.
I could totally believe it because I've had people actually ask me about video games that people don't even normally play games. Like is this a good price to try to buy it off, online and things like that, looking for hardware because they know that they're about to be at home. So
Be stuck.
Yeah.
yeah.
What else are you gonna do? What else is there to do? I mean, you can play board games.
Yeah, I mean, if you by yourself,
I know you. Look, the streaming services, their users are way up too. Obviously.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the data and data cap usage for like cell phones and stuff like that, like way up for sure. I feel like there's an opportunity here to create gamers out of people who weren't gamers.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I feel like as we move into these new consoles, we may be bringing a lot of new people with us.
Agree. I definitely agree with that.
get some extra votes.
And I think it could be an upturn or a downturn. I think there are games for everybody, but it kind of reminds me of what it was like when the Wii first came out and you just had tons of people buying Wiis and buying games that didn't really buy games, you know what I mean, before.
Yeah.
And then you had the unfortunate state of developers trying to develop for that audience. And it just ended up in a lot of shovelware. So I'm hoping we don't see that, you know what I mean, going forward. I do want to go over the top 20 best-selling games of the month,
Okay.
and then we're going to move on.
Okay.
Does anybody have any guesses before I hit the list?
For the month?
Theft and Animal Crossing.
What'd you say? What in Animal Crossing?
Grand Theft.
Yeah, I would say that.
It's always there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Grand Theft, Animal Crossing. I feel like 2K or something like
Yeah.
that is probably still in
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
What else is out there right now? FIFA may still even be in
Yep.
there.
FIFA will be in there.
I don't know if Final Fantasy is still like it's only been a few months a month
Yeah.
now since the release. Final Fantasy's probably in there.
I would say that's in there.
Um,
Final Fantasy is actually number one.
that's
Okay.
Final
kinda,
Fantasy 7
okay.
remake is number one.
kind of figured
Okay.
that was somewhere in the top there.
I was I
Number
wouldn't,
two?
I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man was like pretty high on that list.
Nah, I don't think I'd be in the list.
Wow, that game is
Yeah.
2 years old.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
not that Grand Theft isn't like 7 years old. The Spider-Man ain't Grand Theft. Let's run it down.
All right.
Final Fantasy 7 remake number one.
Okay.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare number two.
Okay.
Animal Crossing New Horizons number three.
Mm-hmm.
NBA 2K20 number four. Which is interesting because NBA 2K20 is on Game Pass right now. I don't know how that affects these numbers. Grand Theft Auto 5 is number 5 on the list. Again, an amazing thing for a game that's that old.
Yes. Yes.
Resident Evil 3, number 6. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is number 7. So Call of Duty has 2 games in the top 10 for last month. MLB The Show 20, number 8.
Mm-hmm.
Madden 20, number 9. Red Dead Redemption 2,
Mm.
Okay.
number 10. Rockstar, 2 joints in the top 10. Just Dance 2020, number 11. FIFA 20, number 12. Mortal Kombat 11, number 13. Borderlands 3, number 14. Now listen to this. Predator Hunting,
Wow.
number 15. I'm gonna pause there for a second.
Are we
Predator's
missing
getting
something?
I don't think. I mean, yes, we are because we're not playing it. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Okay.
Nothing but good things about it. But it's interesting that it's in the top 10 because there are only a couple games that are locked to one console.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always amazing when something is in the top 20 overall or the top 10 overall and it's locked to one console when you're talking overall sales. Like, that's kind of a big deal. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, number
Okay.
16.
Yeah.
Clearly, people are at home,
Oh, yeah.
getting it in with the family.
Oh, they get.
Skipping homeschool.
Oh, it's fights. It's
Knocking
fights.
around the
It's
world.
Since they
fights.
started fights.
Smash Brothers probably
Yeah.
gonna come after that, probably.
Nah, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yuck.
Terrible. Persona 5 Royal,
Yeah.
number 18. Number 19, Need for Speed Heat.
Wow.
EA has Madden, FIFA, and Need for Speed in the top 20.
and
Number 20.
Star Wars. And Star
And
Wars.
Star
And
Wars.
Star Wars.
Number 20, check this out. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. What is
Okay.
happening?
Okay.
What is happening?
People at home.
The strength of the Dragon Ball, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I mean,
It's a strong,
I
it's
can't
a strong
fight it.
one.
clearly.
Not mad at that top 20.
All right, so look. I think that's a solid top 20. I
Yeah,
think
not
everything
mad
in
at
there
all.
is worth playing. It's a very eclectic list. That's
Yes.
probably what I like the most about it. That list is all over the
Yeah.
place. Grand Theft Auto, to Just Dance, to Madden,
Madden,
to like
all
it's
that.
to
Yeah,
Wii
something
Fit,
for
like, it's
everyone.
all over the place. And that's kind of dope. You know what I mean? And again, it just kind of goes to show that as the biggest thing in entertainment, video games, that there is something for everyone.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Kind of sweet, man. So here's what I want to do, man. Let's move on. Let's talk about PlayStation State of Play from today.
Mm-hmm.
We got a chance to see Last of Us Part 2 in depth. Did everybody watch it?
I did get to watch a little piece of it.
I got a
Okay.
sliver, then I got called away to work, so I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, I did.
You saw a sliver Cool.
No, sir.
Hey,
Did not watch
I'm the only person who saw.
But the piece of it I
I'm
saw.
probably the biggest hater.
Piece of it
So
I
here's
saw.
the thing. What happened?
No, I was like the piece of it I saw.
The piece of what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, don't try to make that thing sound like you saw the whole
Hey,
thing. I don't know what
hey. All I know is when Ellie was, they showed that gameplay with Ellie. Yo, she was getting it in. I don't think guns.
I mean, you could have said that if you just saw the trailers from the last one.
No, this was the state of play that
I don't know what you saw. I don't know what you saw. But did you see part of the 8-minute actual gameplay, like run through, or did you see?
Yes, no, it was the gameplay. Whoever was playing was going through. Like there was like a room they got to. There was like 2 people in there. She killed the first one with the bow and arrow. The person came out and saw the person, and she threw like a flashbang grenade, blinded that person, took them out, and then started going to the next room and started creating all sorts of chaos. That's where I pretty much picked up at.
That sounds like the entire demo. All right, so listen. This joint looks phenomenal.
Yes, it does.
This does make me want to play it more than it did before. I don't think it makes me want to play it more than I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. I just feel like it's more my. That's just kind of how I feel right now. Like I want a game like that, like what Ghost is. A little more than I want. What they have, but here's what I really like. I like Sony using state of play to give these deep dives into the games. This is the kind of thing that I feel like they should have been doing prior to now, as they kind of like really begin to kind of figure out what state of play is and how it works. Giving you this kind of an in-depth look, I think, is super important. I feel like it's a little weird that this was done after the one for Ghost, even though this comes out before Ghost does. Like, there's still something a little off, I feel like. But I think that part of that may be coming from the fact that, the team that's working on Ghost doesn't quite have the pull Naughty Dog has. I feel like the team at Naughty Dog can be like, yeah, nah, we ain't ready. We don't want to do it yet, but we're going to do it as soon as we feel like it. And then we going, you know what I mean? And I like that they, kind of tried to come out and just be open and honest. When you watch it, I believe it was Neil Druckmann who was doing the voiceover, and he was just like, because of the way, this is not the way we would normally like to do this. This is not how we would show it to you. We would really be trying to have people getting ready to put their hands on it and things like that. But because we can't get together, we're going to do things different. So hopefully you guys like, what it is we do. And so basically he begins to kind of give you a walk down, like an update of like where we are in the story after the last one, that this picks up basically right where that ends, and then kind of fast forwards a little bit, explains the jump in age for Ellie. She's 19 now. She's living on her own. She's found an encampment in Jackson that she's able to establish relationships with people and stuff like that, instead of always being on the run like, you see her and Joel like in the first game. And the majority of what you get in that is more or less what we've seen in the first couple of like trailers and walkthroughs or whatever. But then when they get to the gameplay, you really start to see some of the flexibility in what they're allowing you to do, like having a workbench to actually update your weapons and make them the way you want them. So if you want to add a scope to your rifle, you can add a scope to your rifle. Like, you can just do different things so that technically your playthrough can be different from somebody else's because of the style you can choose to play with. I do like the level of flexibility. They really did talk about how much larger the environments are, and that it actually does become kind of necessary for Ellie to have a horse to get from place to place because they're wider and more open. They talked about the stealth and the realism of the stealth, where it's like, yes, you can like go prone and hide in tall grass, but people can still see you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit of a different level of realism. Like, when you play like Assassin's Creed, it's kind of like if you in the grass, you in the grass. You know what I mean? Like if you duck down,
get a little more around you, you good.
Yeah, it's that kind of a thing. That they have dogs and the dogs can track you, and you can use like her vision and you can see that they can track you. So even if you're hiding or you're behind cover, if they have a dog, the dog can sniff you out. So you still got to keep moving. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like it's shaping up, bruh. Senna, you buying this for yourself for your birthday? It comes out on your birthday. Is that your plan?
I know. Like I say, when I saw the last trailer, that was leading me towards that. I'll probably wake up in the morning, sit down, and watch the state of play. Hopefully, I don't get interrupted, and probably make my final decision off of watching it. I'll probably still get it, just whether I get it day one is the thing or not.
I would recommend, going in and looking at they've been doing these kind of short, almost like documentaries about the game. I would go in and actually check those out. I mean, they're not going to spoil anything for you or anything like that. But I would say that it would probably be worth checking those out to make a decision for yourself. I mean, it does. And I don't know what else is coming out
at that
around that time.
Nothing.
Yeah. So. And then there's nothing really for like another month.
Yeah.
Once that happens, so I would say it would be worth doing. Coop, are you a fan? Have you played The Last of Us at all?
Yeah, I did. I did get a chance to play the first one. That was around the time when it first came out too, when I actually had a PlayStation 3. The game was phenomenal. I mean, absolutely great. And I have been watching the gameplay. It came up on YouTube earlier today on my lunch break. I did see some of the gameplay. I didn't get to see all of it, but it does look amazing. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you get a system for, to be honest.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna do it and you're gonna do it this late,
you're
in the cycle. Mm-hmm. So on that note, having said that, if you currently don't have a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 is coming, do you buy a PlayStation 4 for this game?
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm asking any of y'all. Like, what's
I don't think so.
The issue right now is just the fact, like, I want to go under the assumption that there's going to be some type of way that this is going to be a PS5 game as well too, whether it's you have to upgrade, pay a difference, buy whatever it may be, and it really makes me want to wait until it comes on PS5. But at the same time, it's gotten me to the point like, I'm definitely going to buy it on the PS4, but I don't know if I would honestly just buy another console just to, well, not me, but I don't know if I would go out necessarily to buy a new PS4 when I know PS5 at this point is right around the corner. And obviously the release date is still up in the air, but it's like that release date at this point in time almost could come at any given time. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely say get a PlayStation 5. Even now, I don't even have a PlayStation 4 yet, and I would benefit off of that because I never played any PlayStation 4 games either way. But like, I mean, if it's right around the corner, you might as well go with it.
The only way I would say, unless they come with like once they actually announce the PS5, and maybe there's going to be another price break on the PS4. Maybe if there's a substantial price break, maybe at that point it may be worthwhile to go ahead. But I don't think they'll do that. If anything, like $50. But I don't know if necessarily that's going to be worth me putting that for when I know I'm going to go ahead and get a PS5. But we still don't 100% know like backwards compatibility. We know the top 100 games are being tested or whatnot ever, but it's like,
yeah, I wouldn't get it for myself, but I won't be mad if somebody else did.
Sam, I'm gonna throw you a scenario.
All right, go ahead.
You are officially the head honcho at Sony, making the decision.
Okay.
Congrats, man.
Are you?
Thank you for the promotion. I appreciate it.
I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I don't pay
He
you.
didn't,
So
he didn't,
you
I
know
was
what I
about to
mean?
say.
Okay,
I was like,
okay.
your checking, that checking is coming.
Yeah. Like I don't. I don't have nothing to do with your checks, bro.
All right, shoot.
What is your plan for marketing? What's the divide? What are we doing to get people to jump on the PlayStation 5? How are we going forward with advertising something that currently, as far as we know, is only on PlayStation 4? Like, what are we looking at? What's the plan for the next 4 months? Right? Because I mean, we're in June. You might as well say at this
June
point,
at this
right? It's
point
the very
now.
beginning. You might as well say we're in June. So you figure June, July, August, September,
Mm-hmm.
maybe October, November. But if these two games are not coming out until the last game comes out in the end of July,
Mm-hmm.
so now we're talking August, September, October, November. What is your ramp up? Because I wouldn't imagine that you really want to ramp too hard until after that game comes out.
Yeah, like we've been saying, I would put the focus on Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, since they are the last two big releases of the PlayStation's cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Keep pushing those in everybody's faces so we can get more PlayStations in people's hand, more those games sold on those systems. But at the same time, still slowly trickling out PlayStation 5 information, just not necessarily release date and stuff like that until those have come. They've come out. They've got in people's hands. Now we start dropping all those bombs on people once Ghost of Tsushima has come out, leading into the holidays.
Is there a point where enough is enough for PlayStation 4? Like, is there a point where you go, hey, bruh, we already got like 120 million units out, give or take. We don't really need to push this joint so much. Let's get people focused on the new one, right? And like, all right, we're gonna do a marketing push for Last of Us. We'll do a marketing push for Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I mean, there's other stuff that's coming. It's not like there's not third party stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But I was trying. Are you? Is the idea? Hey, there's all this great stuff to play on PlayStation 4. You should still buy a PlayStation 4. Buy PlayStation 4. Or are you saying, hey man, the latest and greatest, boom, 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 grab this PlayStation 5? And I'm asking that because right now, where we stand, we just don't know enough about how they intend to handle backwards compatibility for real. And everything working for real. Like, we know from the Microsoft standpoint, whatever's coming out new now is still designed to work on the stuff that's out now. Mm-hmm. So we good. Go ahead and buy a 1X. Go ahead and buy a 1S. You know what I'm saying? Or go ahead and buy the Series X if that's where your money is. Either way, you can still play these games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a part of me that feels like these two games are not going to be PlayStation 5 games.
Sure.
That when they're ready to put them on PlayStation 5, they will be re-released. You will buy them. They will do them like Last of Us remastered. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be seeking that. They want them dollars. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, and I could be wrong, but the precedence speaks for itself already based on, you know what I mean, the last generation.
Right.
And where we are. There was a time when I felt like, come on, man, it's a no-brainer. You're going to put these two games out, but you're definitely going to make them at least backwards compatible. And if they're backwards compatible, there's going to at least be some, it's going to do something. Like, it's got to at least run better. Like, maybe the load time, stuff like that. Maybe it doesn't look any better. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Like, wouldn't it be okay to say that right now already? Like, wouldn't it be okay to say if you're talking about Last of Us Part 2 right now, and you know, hey, listen, don't worry about it. For all of you who are ready to grab it now, but you're concerned about PlayStation 5, don't worry. This game is going to work on your PlayStation 5. It'll run. Now, even if you don't say it's going to be up-res or it's going whatever, this game will run on your PlayStation 5. You know what I mean? Like,
I would feel a lot better. Just having that little piece of knowledge, I would feel a lot better.
I mean, I feel like you should feel a lot better with that. I just saying like, nah, I don't know.
I think they might be using the money from PlayStation 4, like with all this. I'm pretty sure people are going to buy more PlayStation 4s for these to put towards the PlayStation 5
Oh
coming
no,
out.
most certainly.
You know what I mean? So I think they don't want to dial it back on that just yet. Let's get as much money as we can. So as we start ramping up production and all that kind of stuff, we have the money to get out as many consoles as possible because we already know that it might be a hard fight to get them when they do finally release. Maybe that's their point of looking at it.
I mean, it could be.
I can see both.
If you're trying to use PlayStation 4 sales right now, from now to monetize your PlayStation 5, Slim, what have you been doing with those dollars for the past years?
And that's the point we've been saying this past couple months. They've not been giving us any information, and all this weird stuff's been happening behind the scenes. So we just got to speculate and don't know. Now they're finally giving us that information. Hopefully sooner rather than later we get all the information we're looking for. But we're just still guessing at this point. We don't know, what they're thinking right now.
So part of the reason why I bring this up is because rumors are abound that we are getting PlayStation 5 information next week. Some sort of an event. They are saying, initially I heard the 5th. Now I'm hearing the 3rd. I'm seeing that people are saying, it could fluctuate now. But now that we've had our Ghost moment and we've had our Last of Us moment, time for a PS5 moment. And for real, what I'm hearing is not necessarily that we're going to hear about hardware, but that we're going to hear about game, which I find interesting. Because you have now just pitched the last 2 games that are coming on this console that's out. The following week, you are going to say, oh yeah, but check this out. We about to do this. And clearly, if you already have a PlayStation 4, then it doesn't matter. Because you're probably going to buy The Last of Us or Ghost anyway. Right?
Yep.
And you're probably going to try to buy a PlayStation 5 if you can get your hands on it. So who are you talking? You're talking to people that already have it. I would imagine. Assuming we get something next week, what do we think we see?
I would really hope it's, even though I would really hope it's something with hardware. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about hearing about potential new games, especially ones that are going to push the limits of what the PS5 is going to truly be able to do. Now, when you advertise that game, these are going to be ones that are going to be like, hey, only on PS5. So, ones that I'm guessing they won't release on PS4, or if they're going to try to go the route and say, maybe at that point, if they're only doing games, if you do buy this on PS4, it is going to run on PS5 when it comes out. And I think that verbiage is one of the biggest things that's been missing, is the fact that are you going to be able to move like those top 100 or whatnot ever to play on the PlayStation 5? I think hardware, we got hardware information, but that whole thing was just, obviously it wasn't meant for gamers. It was meant for the developers, so pretty much put any gamer probably to sleep watching it, but it was some good things that we got out of it, but we still, everything was kind of, well, we're thinking about doing this piece, or we're thinking about putting in this piece, so we never really got the 100% on, so the PlayStation...
Yeah, a lot of it felt hypothetical.
Yeah, versus
right?
saying...
With what we have, you could do this, or you might be able to do this.
At some point in the future, you can do this.
We're testing the top 100 games, and most of those games work, right? And it's crazy because I keep hearing people say, well, we know the top 100 games are backwards compatible. No, we don't.
No.
That's not what he said. What he said is we're testing the top 100, and most of them work. And we feel confident that by the time we roll out, they will all work.
Bruh,
but we don't know that.
Should know that.
Right? You're right. You're right. And I'm gonna tell you what. I feel like you should be much more confident in that when you are Mark Cerny giving that information. You are the architect of the last hardware and the new hardware.
Mhm.
So when it comes to making sure that the games that ran on the old hardware run on the new hardware, if you're the guy that makes the hardware,
Should be a no-brainer.
you're supposed to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
You know what I'm
we'll
saying?
top 100. No, yeah. So that's. I'm hoping
What
that.
that says to me is that backwards compatibility, that like there's a frame of mind for them that says that backwards compatibility still really isn't a real thing. Like I can remember when Xbox started to lean into it, and it was kind of like, well, look, we did backwards compatibility on PlayStation 2 because
Mhm.
PlayStation 1 games worked on PlayStation 2. You know what I mean? We did it with PlayStation 3. PlayStation 2 games worked on PlayStation 3, but it was expensive. You know, the system was, you know, we had to cut it out, but we cut it out because people weren't really using it. And it kind of makes me feel like they really just kind of bent the statistics and made it sound like it's a thing people don't really want or don't really use, so that they could have a good excuse to take it out without people going crazy because they were taking something away from them.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of it is, if your statistics showed that people don't really do backwards compatible, like nobody really plays them, then why did you put it in your PlayStation 2? And then why did you do it again in PlayStation 3?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. We know why you didn't go do it going into PlayStation 4, because you couldn't, because the architecture of the 3
Just
didn't match the 4. You know what I'm saying? That made it harder to do. This go around, you would think, all right, we're going to try to keep it in the same line to make it easier for those things to happen, so that we don't run into the same issues we had before. I think that the numbers around people playing, if you look at what Modern Warfare looks like, or what Black Ops looks like on Xbox Live, you know people are playing old games.
Mm-hmm.
That backwards compatibility is maybe not everything. I'm not saying, you know, everybody wants to play Top Spin. I'll play Top Spin. You know what I'm saying?
But it's more of
I'm
a
not saying
thing than they're
everybody
letting go
wants to
into.
do
It's more of a problem than they're letting go into.
Yeah, and I think that, especially in this particular era, where yes, people are used to upgrading the hardware they have, but they're used to upgrading it and still having stuff that they paid for, because they basically have their name and a username and a password tied to everything they have.
Mhm.
They're used to being able to carry their stuff over, and it makes, or at least would make, video games, which is supposed to be this top level industry moving, we do stuff first kind of, you know what I mean, look like you're way behind. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even do what phones do, because when I get a new iPhone, all my old stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's a bad look, because you asking me for a lot of money for this joint.
Mm-hmm.
I got you, Ty. Chat's going off.
What they talking about? What we got popping? Let's do it. Let's talk to the
All
chat,
right, let's
man.
see. Floyd said, I will push new system first if you don't have backwards compatibility. What else we got here? Ty's been saying a lot. Buying a new console is like buying a new car. A year the car comes out, you don't. He said, well, it's like buying a car the year that the car comes out, without knowing the errors that will be there with it and stuff like that. The problem with Sony was that, well, Ronald said the problem with Sony was that this Microsoft versus Sony console wars have been going on for so long that now it's us versus them. He also said if Microsoft is looking strong in the hardware, said if Microsoft is looking strong in the hardware department and says it's over, their comp is Google and Amazon. There needs to be a response, basically saying.
Oh yeah, they've already acknowledged that. That's already a fact.
Floyd said, "Did you say Top Spin?"
I did, bro.
Yes.
You know what it is? The Top Spin Wars, bro. That's real life right there.
There was also some Switch talk going around in here, trying to find it.
You know what? That's actually great. I'm glad you bring that up, because that's the next thing. I'm looking for some Nintendo predictions from y'all.
Cool.
We obviously know we have new consoles coming from the competition this year.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft and Sony, the cards are on the table. New systems are coming. Series X, PlayStation 5, Unreal Engine 5, yada, yada, yada. It's all popping off.
Mm-hmm.
What's Nintendo going to do?
Games.
Right now,
All they can
the
do.
only game we have, like the only like
Confirmed
Nintendo game
thing. Yeah,
we have is Paper Mario,
that's it.
Origami Jam. That's it, and that's coming out like the same day as Ghost of Tsushima.
That's gonna be fun.
Might Jai like punish Ghost of Tsushima for
It might,
Just-
it might.
might body it.
Paper Mario was fire. I might have to jump on this one.
Hey, listen. I mean, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, it's clean. I don't know about the last one. Like Color Splash, I feel like, was like,
First Paper Mario to come out like that joint was fire. I haven't played one after that.
okay,
I'm thinking about
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know.
What is Nintendo's plan for this year? How does Nintendo? Obviously, you can still sell Switches. I get that, but like, what is their plan for combating the hot new, super dope looking games that just you know what I mean? Like, what does Nintendo do?
I'll go first with this one. I got 3 possible predictions for them. I think they'll put out, like you said, they put out new Switches. They'll have those out there. They're still moving. I think they'll do new colors and new Joy Cons. Well, I think they'll put out new colors at least. I do think they're gonna drop Bayonetta 3. And possibly Mario Kart 9.
9.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think we just lost your audio.
Yeah, I can't hear
Yeah,
you.
Yeah, Gage.
Gage, you're out.
Nah. All right. While he takes it 1 second, so I'll chime in and throw mines in this. So, Sin, I'm right there with Mario Kart 9, and Gage just messed everything up from going out, coming back in.
He's back.
But I hope it'll fix. But I'm right along with you with Mario Kart 9. I'm pretty sure. At this point, we're due for that. They ported it from the Wii U for 8. I think we're due to having the new one there. But I think the 2 pieces of it, games and partnerships, I think are really what they're going to try to push. So we already know they have their partnerships doing with like Microsoft and having some of those Xbox titles and like the Game Pass, certain things going on both sides. I think we're going to really see them lean a little heavier into that, because I mean it works. I mean, hey, it's a win-win on both sides. Say like Ori, for instance, I think would be a good game to have on both sides, especially on the Switch. So a game like that, it's on Nintendo, people are gonna get it, but at the same time you're gonna see that Xbox logo. So of course Microsoft was like, hey, let's do this. But then we know with Ubisoft too, they have strong bonds with Ubisoft. I think maybe we'll see more of those titles start to show up on the Switch, and we'll probably see some like exclusive content, outfits, things like Animal Crossing.
like the Ubisoft did with the Starship whatever game where they put Star Fox in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I know I've been on the wagon talking about them coming out with like this Switch Pro. Like I've talked about that in the past, but like I don't think how long has it been that we got the one refresh on the console where we got like a little bit of the better battery life and everything.
Year.
That was last year. So
that was last year, and the Switch Lite was last year.
And the Switch Lite. So I don't think we'll see another refresh right now. Like I was heavy into thinking that was when they announced the Switch Lite. That's what I was thinking we were gonna get, like that upgraded Switch at that point. So I don't think, just like Sin said, probably some more colors. I think maybe some more the robust colors, maybe a couple more special editions, like the Animal Crossing Switch. When Pokemon Shield and Sword came out, we had that special edition. I think they'll do that to possibly move a few more units. But definitely games and these partnerships with some of these other companies, I think, are really where they're going to lie it. And also, the one game I do think they will probably, if it doesn't come out this year, they probably will put a bigger emphasis on it. Breath of the Wild 2. We know it's being worked on. At this point, we don't really know where in the development it actually is, but I definitely think we're going to get a big chunk of talk about that Breath of the Wild 2, because honestly, like when Switch originally dropped, Breath of the Wild came out, that was for good piece the number one thing that attached to every single Switch that came out. So
Right.
possibly some more DLC for the first one. It would be interesting to see if somehow that was going to be released during holiday. I mean, I think it's a little bit too soon, but who knows? They may try to pull something.
Nah, is it too soon? I mean,
How long? Wait, when did Breath of the Wild come out now?
The Switch is 4 years old.
4
Breath of the
years,
Wild
yeah.
came out-
Yeah, that was on the jump.
Time is
It's
no. Breath of the Wild.
And it looks like they're working in the same engine. I mean, they turned Majora's Mask around in a year after Ocarina, running in the same engine on Zelda. So it's possible. The hardware thing, I don't think is going to happen, and I think it's just because of the constraints
At this
and
point,
the just how hard it is to get parts and pieces. Like it's been hard for people to get Switches. Like we know people have been trying to get them and they've been sold out everywhere. They certainly would have sold more than they did if they had been readily available. So if you can't really get them now, unless part of the reason why you're unable to do it is because you're using those parts to make new hardware, I don't see that happening. And Nintendo still has issues with Joy-Con drift. It's a major issue.
It's still an issue.
Tons of people, and Nintendo has done. Now I don't want to say they haven't done anything. Like you can send in your Joy-Con or whatever and get it, but there's Joy-Con drift on lights. Like it's an issue that they did not.
That's the crazy one on the light. Like
so if you have a light, you got to send the whole thing
in.
It's not like you can just send your left Joy-Con in. You got to send the whole thing in. And the funny thing about that is, man, if that had been Microsoft, people, what? What? People would have been like, Red Ringer controllers, yo.
Yep.
It's the Red Ringer controllers, yo. Like,
Yep.
it'd have been nuts. Like,
And let it happen on them elite controllers.
They'd have been crucified
Let
online.
it happen on those elite controllers.
They'd have crucified them online.
Right. Those.
let's keep facts. The Nintendo Switch has the worst controller available in those Joy-Cons.
Yep.
Garbage. The Pro controller,
Beautiful.
decent.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
That's decent.
Yes.
That's a solid controller.
Yes.
But even Pro controllers have drift. That's an issue.
Yeah, that's a serious issue.
That's an issue.
When you can't even switch controllers,
So
to
they
get,
need a
get
hardware.
around
They
it.
do actually need a hardware revision, right? Like I mean, they just do. But I don't know if we
Maybe-
see a Pro. Coop, man, where you at? What are you thinking?
I'm about to say maybe that's what they announce. Maybe they know the issues with the controllers and everything, and maybe they announce that. Along with some new games.
They
and
announced they're
everything.
going to fix the thing that's broke.
They've already acknowledged that. I mean,
Because
Well,
that
I
ain't
don't know.
that ain't gonna make me buy a new. I mean, if it's the new and improved Switch with the Joy-Cons that actually work. Like what?
Hey.
What? I'm gonna need you to rethink your prediction, sir.
I'm an
Back to-
Xbox guy, man. I don't have a Switch, but I don't have those Switch issues.
That's cool.
it's cool. We still know about the Switch thing, though. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a gamer still.
You know what? I think we'll get some information about Metroid Prime 4. I don't think it's ready,
Yeah,
so I don't think it's coming this year. But I think we'll get the information. I know they had to restart work on it.
Mhm.
So all we've had so far is a logo.
That was it. 4. The 4.
So I feel like,
You
they'll
know
do
what?
something with that.
And maybe with that, we might get a remastered Metroid Prime, like 1, 2, and 3 on it or something like that.
I can see that.
I
Yeah,
think
can
the
definitely-
trilogy, I think there's going to be a remastered trilogy.
I do. Mhm.
Yeah.
I do think they're going to do. So this is what's tricky. I think there's going to be a Mass Effect remastered trilogy, and I think the big deal is that it's going to run on Switch. That's what I think the big deal is going to be.
If I can have if I can have Mass Effect on the go.
Hey, look, here's the thing with that. As much as I would like to have it on the Switch to go, I know damn well we would jump back into the multiplayer, and I gotta have it where I can get to the multiplayer.
I'm cool with that.
And
No.
Nintendo's multiplayer ain't it.
Hey, no, I'm cool with still having it on the box. I'm perfectly
Oh,
fine.
you gonna buy it twice?
There's a good
You know he
chance
will.
I would buy that twice. And I'll play it on both sides. Like I love the first 3 Mass Effects. I absolutely love. Like I I've replayed them when it first came out. Then they released it on PS3 when they actually had the whole collection. I bought it on the PS3. Then they did the backwards compatibility and added in the first ones on the Xbox. So then I ran through them all because that was the first time I could go through on the Xbox for having the first one and going through. Because I didn't originally play the first one. I started at the second one, so I didn't get to do all three over to it. So when they added that back to it, I went through and ran on the Xbox. Yeah, I didn't run through. I bought the second one. I hadn't played the first one. I went ahead and played the second one. I had to go back. Yeah.
After running back,
I feel like I gotta get rid of you, bro.
Hey, when it originally came
At least
out,
you went back and played it.
oh no, I had
At least
to.
you went back and played it.
I love two. I absolutely love two so much. I had to go back and play one.
Two is.
Two is
So I
fire.
I could see them possibly making an announcement like that, right? In lieu of maybe having, because look, Unreal Engine 5 will run on Switch. It will, because it ports down to your phone, so it'll run on Switch. But we're not really going to see Unreal Engine 5 in use until next year anyway.
True.
So I think Nintendo's going to have to lean into Metroid. I think we could actually see Zelda. And if they drop Zelda, that joint will move units. The second Zelda will move units, period.
Oh, hands
Big
down well. Zelda,
there's
and then the
just-
combination of
They gotta
Mario
make sure they have
Kart,
the units on. They have to make sure they have the units on shelf though.
digital. Get that? I know,
Right.
yes,
You
attached,
talking about-
but
you talking about the console.
oh,
You mean
console.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Facts.
Yeah.
Must
Because
have
even-
console.
Yes.
yeah,
if you're gonna drop a big title
you
like that,
do, you do, but you don't. I mean, the Wii wasn't on shelves. It still outsold everything else ever.
yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, and truthfully, with the number of people who are new Switch owners right now that are getting into Animal Crossing and getting into Mario Kart and getting, like, absolutely they could do another Mario Kart. I think you're absolutely right on that.
I
think
just saw this.
Mario Kart.
we talking about Floyd.
We no, we're talking
No,
about
which
Ty.
one?
Because
Ty?
we guys were joking about not playing the first one. Tyrone said he didn't play until the third Mass Effect.
So he didn't know.
Boy, you had some
No.
questions. You had a lot of questions when you went into that third one.
Oh my gosh!
There was some choices that went all the way back
What
to the
you
first
doing,
game
Ty?
from the third one. So it was like,
Did he ever go back and play the first two?
I'm thinking yes, but I'll let him answer that
Yeah. Let's
because he was excited
find
when
out.
we said Mass Effect trilogy. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, I really do
yes.
I really do think we'll see a remastered. Because I am expecting that EA is gonna talk about Dragon Age, the new Dragon Age.
yeah, it's about time.
But I think they'll lean into a Mass Effect remastered because I think they can have somebody else work on that port, and it doesn't have to be BioWare or whatever. And I could see them.
Just give
I
us to
could
us.
see them doing something with, because EA doesn't do a lot to support the Switch.
Mm-mm.
Like the FIFAs and the Maddens and stuff like that. That's just not really a thing there. But I could see them maybe making Mass Effect a thing unless they align themselves with Microsoft, because Microsoft's like, nope, that joint started with us. You need to show it here.
That's that partnership I'm talking about right there.
I mean, but like, it's one of them things, man, like, you never know, because the way Nintendo works their deals, man, like, they could do a Mass Effect trilogy and there might be, like, Samus armor. You know what I'm saying, or something.
Hey,
That, you feel me? Like,
I'm about that.
but that's how they do that. When they cross over, they really cross over. I'm a little concerned about Nintendo's online. I would like to hear them talk about what they're going to do with Nintendo Online. Are we getting N64 games? Are we going to get what is possibly going to be the best-selling system of this year in an N64 Mini?
That bad boy is going to be so hard to get.
Yep.
What are our games?
Mario,
If there's an N64 Mini, what are our games? And you can leave GoldenEye out because that's not happening.
that ain't happening. Mario 64.
They're not going to be able to.
Yep.
Mario 64 is going to go on there.
And they can do a deal with Microsoft to get Perfect Dark.
Mhm. Power
The
Wings.
original
Force
Smash.
Gemini
Power Wings.
also belongs to
Power
Microsoft.
Wings.
You say Smash?
Original Smash, yeah.
Smash
I
Brothers.
can see that.
I said
Trying
Pilot Wings.
Pilot Wings. You gotta listen. You gotta have Star Fox 64.
Star Fox.
Star
Yeah,
Fox
I was gonna
64.
Yep. Yep.
Gotta have that joint. Gotta have Mario 64.
I mean, I don't know if you guys really play like they had the Diddy Kong Racing. Like that was probably, I don't
That
think.
on fire.
Yeah, so that could be something possibly we see show up on there.
Let me tell you what has to be on it.
What?
WrestleMania 2000.
2000.
Oh, yes.
Let's go.
Oh yes.
WWE, you
That has to be.
hey, WWE, you failed at the 2K and that. If you just throw WrestleMania 2000 on this N64 mini, you can redeem yourself.
Every time we talk about WrestleMania, I still think about Extra Life, dog. We booted that joint up. And Rock and Undertaker had the belt for Rock and Undertaker held the tag team titles for 16 years. They still had the date on there.
Like, where y'all been?
we had to run up there and get the belts back real quick. That had to wait too long.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Hey, listen. Yeah, I think that could be a major thing if they don't have Switch hardware.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be N64.
Yep.
And N64 mini. That would be the
Just announce
surprise
it.
joint. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
because them joints will be in 7-Eleven. Them joints will be in Rite Aid.
They gonna be
They
everywhere.
Walgreens.
Everywhere.
Hey, what's the price point? 130?
Ooh.
How many controllers come with it?
You only
get
gonna get
four?
one.
Four
Nah.
ports,
One?
four
You
controllers?
get one.
You're gonna get one, but yeah, you get 4
You
ports
get
in there.
one.
You get the 4
Oh, yeah.
ports.
But you're going to buy them other
You,
three.
you go.
I think they're gonna give you at least two. I think they're gonna give you at least two.
I say 2.
But they're gonna be the weak gray joints. They're gonna put out the color joint. And everybody's gonna want the color joint. Real talk.
Oh man.
The see-through
Real
green,
talk.
the see-through purple.
What?
Come on, now you talking, cool.
Gold joint? Black joint? What?
Oh.
Listen. That joint, bruh. Hey, look. Just because it's on my mind because we saw my N64, is Microsoft going to announce in July a new Killer Instinct?
That'll be crazy.
Listen, Killer Instinct was a launch title for the Xbox One.
It was.
Yeah.
They kept updating it, adding characters, whatever. They stayed with it. Xbox One X.
And that DLC held down
There's
for
a
years.
straight to Game Pass launch title, new Killer Instinct.
Hey, Game Pass. Game Pass.
Yeah.
Dog, I had to have a serious conversation with someone today about Game Pass at work, cause they only played, it was Madden, Call of Duty, and something else, and I was like, okay, I get you that's your realm, but I was like, I need you to just jump on, pay the $1, get the 2-3 months, whatever it is, and I'm telling you. You will get this.
You'll stay.
You will not want to give it up. And I started going through, like, I was like, do you play Grand Theft? He was like, nah, I never got Grand Theft. Grand Theft is in there. Red Dead is in there. Like, you're getting these major third-party games, and they look like, what? Like, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, look, when the Series X comes out,
They
I will.
add No Man's Sky to that joint. You see that? They
No
just
Man's
announced
Sky?
No Man's Sky is coming to Game Pass.
I'm going to be
That's
playing
nice.
Halo Infinite day one, and yet I don't even have to worry about buying this bad boy. I played Gear 5 the day it came out, and I had all the DLC. I was like, that's like $100 right there. I was like, yeah, it was, and I paid 10.
You know what I
Jumps
mean?
over there
Yeah,
stunting.
you're right.
Like, yeah, I hadn't to pay for nothing.
Dog,
Right.
I'm sorry. Game Pass for a gamer
It's
is one of the best things that you can have. And if
that's
Microsoft,
It's the best joint.
and if they
It's the best joint.
and if they somehow partnered with Nintendo, where you can start having Game Pass on your Switch and you can start playing some of these games, Ori, all those type of things on the Switch.
That'd be crazy.
It ain't gonna happen.
Hey,
It ain't gonna happen.
it's ultimate partnership.
It
Hey,
ain't gonna happen.
I'm swinging for the fences on that one. I'll swing for the fences on, but
I would love to see it. It ain't gonna happen. But speaking of Game Pass, I played Minecraft Dungeons earlier today because that just dropped in Game Pass.
you were able to pry yourself off of it. I see. At least so we could do this.
Hey, listen, if y'all don't get out of my way, so I can get back on this joint. That joint has. I was playing it with my youngest, and you know, Minecraft Dungeons is exactly what it sounds like. It's a dungeon crawler. It's an isometric, top-down dungeon crawler, 4 players online. They got all these different characters you can pick from. Like, you know, they got all these different builds or whatever you can pick from. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like 20-something different like characters that are already there that you can pick from. And we got in, bruh, and we started playing. And the first time you level up, this is what's crazy. It was like your character doesn't level up. Your weapons. So it's like when you level up, you could choose, like, you have a sword and a bow. Well, you can choose one of those two to upgrade. Okay. And when you upgrade it, you can add an ability to it. So, like, if you choose to upgrade your sword, you could either make it so it does up to 50% more, like 0 to 50% more damage. You could add a poison cloud to it, or you could make it so that there's a 100% chance that they're going to drop more loot. Okay? If you upgraded your bow, you could add a poison cloud to that or something else. I can't remember. But you basically could pick that. So she had a real Diablo 3 moment where we sat looking at the screen and she was like, yeah, but if I get this, then I can do this. But if I get this, then I could do this. But then what if I... And she just looked at me and was like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, that's why they let you make more than one character. And she was like, oh. And I was like, so you can make one character where you just boost their sword up or give them poison and give them whatever. You can make another character and you can start over and play through them and raise them up kind of like Castle Crasher. And she was like, ah! And I was
Lost
like, yeah,
it.
this is about to be a problem. We got to
Yeah,
the beginning of the joint, started the home base, saved it, and in the first like round, like playthrough, it's actually more open than it looks. It feels linear, but there's other places you can go because at the end of that joint, it told us we only found like 50% of the chests that were in the area.
Okay.
So she was like, "Oh,
gotta go
we
back.
missed half the chest." Yeah, that joint might be getting ready to be a problem.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid dungeon crawl.
So I'm a highly suggest that we jump on that. We might have to do a little bit of that tomorrow. I heard I'm off. I heard jokes. I know you're off. Coop, I heard you're off.
Whoa.
Saying I know you working, but you home anyway.
That's
so
right.
I'm gonna show my shoulders and I'm gonna pretend your job don't matter. So we can play Minecraft. Here's the other thing I want to talk about before we shut down, before we close out. Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. Did anybody get it?
Nope.
Okay, Coop.
We're
gonna have a conversation. You and I, sir. We're gonna talk. Before we get too deep into story and blah blah blah, here's what I want to say. I'm upset.
That's what I figured.
Because I feel like $40 is a lot of money to ask me for this game when I already gave you 100.
No, I agree, 100%.
That's how I feel. I bought the Ultimate joint, all the DLC, bought the joint up front. It's $100. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me something. If you're brand new to this joint, you can spend $60 and get the whole thing. You get the game, you get the first full combat pack with all the other people, which was another $30 in and of itself, and you get this, which is $40 in and of itself. So you're essentially telling me that the game is worth like $10. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, something ain't right here.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the people who have supported you from day one, you are gouging them.
Oh, we bamboozled y'all. We gonna get y'all.
Something ain't right. Having said that, I needed to go ahead and do it so I could feel like I could complain about it. And as of right now, that joint might be worth 40 beans, y'all. That joint might be worth 40 beans. It might be. Cool.
Okay.
You been playing?
I'm actually gonna start tonight. I just did the download.
All right. So I'm not gonna ruin anything for you, but I will tell you this: you have to you can't just download the content. You got to do the update for the game, and the update for the game is like a 13 gig update. So
I already did that. All of it was done today. All of it was done today.
You say that now, and you're gonna go boot it up.
No.
You're gonna get hit with that 13 gig update.
But
tell me your thoughts, man. What do you?
But I will agree with you with the $40. It did seem like a little too much. But then I also did hear that Ed Boon is going to be supporting this game all the way to 2021 too, and some of the updates in the game kind of lead to a little more than aftermath too, you know.
I mean, look, I don't know how many chapters are in the story mode for Aftermath. I can tell you that I'm in the 3rd chapter of it. So the game ends at 12. I think it's 12 chapters. No, it's 13 chapters. No, it's 12 chapters. So when it starts, you start at chapter 13. And they basically immediately give you new characters to run with. So you with Nightwolf, you know how the story mode works. Like, bro, it's that story mode. Like, NetherRealm just has story mode in fighting games. They got it. Like, they just have it. Like, I was all in. I should have been asleep. I was all in. You know what I mean? Like, they throw you a character, they interact, the cutscenes, they're fighting. I mean, like, look, man, y'all know I'm picky about my kung fu flicks and the fighting and whatever. Let me tell y'all something about Shang Tsung, bruh. And that old man would be punishing dudes, bruh. Ha, ha.
You got the hands?
All of that, bro. Like, getting them. Yeah, nah. It gets that joint's pretty clean so far. And I spent a good portion of time just like kind of in there, like messing around with like outfits and kind of looking at what they have for the new characters, RoboCop and all of that. And then I went in and I checked out, some fatalities or whatever. I haven't messed around with friendships and stuff like that, but they're in there. Like you can actually go directly to the menu and some things they hide behind, like you have to find them first or whatever in the crypt or whatever. I went in and found, looked at some of that stuff. They got a special thing running right now where you can go in the crypt and there's a special thing you can find and only lasts, whatever. I'm not going in there right now. I'm gonna finish the story, but just based on what I've played of the story so far, might be worth 40 beans, bruh.
Okay.
Might be worth 40 beans.
I've been waiting to do more, and
I'm banging with Shiva too. I'm just gonna tell you that. Say that. What's up?
I've been waiting to do more on Mortal Kombat, honestly, because I'm online with that. That's probably the main thing that I'm online with that almost every night. Every night.
Yeah.
I want you to hear
that
me, Jokes. Every
5.
Yeah.
Those are
he
your joints.
would dog you. You dare jump on Mortal Kombat. That's what that was.
Look, ain't no amount of leaning in the camera gonna save you from this one, Joe.
I'm just saying.
I got Coop bodying you, bruh.
He been playing. Okay, so you're saying is I need to get back on Mortal Kombat. I'll do that. But Coop, do remember this: when we played in said tournament, you lost in said tournament.
Yeah, that was
matter of fact.
11.
I was the one that knocked you out of the tournament.
That was 10. This is 11.
That is true.
That don't count. It's a different game.
And that was a legit tournament. That was a legit tournament. Not no us in the house. That was a legit tournament.
Hey, put me in a legit tournament right now. That's how I feel. That's what I'm saying.
You're losing in the first round.
I believe you.
I'm not. I'm not.
I don't know, man. Hey, listen.
Coop not swelling on this one? He not swelling?
Y'all can rekindle y'all old flames, man. I'm with it 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with it. If y'all told me y'all want to play right now, I tell the government.
If I play right now,
I'm worried about your COVID right now. Y'all come through. Let's make this happen right now. We bring your face mask.
Sorry.
Yep.
I gotta be in Batman mode right now. I need prep time. I'm gonna need a little prep time.
Hey dog, can we leave Batman alone for one?
I was wondering, like, is he gonna bring a Batman at some point?
Can we just leave him alone, bro? You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, real talk. I think that they should put Superman from Injustice in Mortal Kombat 11.
I think he
should be a secret character.
I can dig that.
I think he can have 4 fatalities because Slim is a thug.
Hey, but hold up. Out of nowhere, Ellis just showed up. He hates Batman. Watch out, Joe.
Watch out.
Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, for the record, I don't hate Batman. I hate Superman. I don't hate Batman. Dude's just not a superhero. That's all.
All right.
I love you, Ellis. All right, listen. Let's do this. Let's do a quick rundown. Talk to me. What's happening in the chat before we close out? What are they
Let's
saying?
see.
How bad are they treating me right now?
Floyd said Turok remastered for the Switch. I'm thinking more.
They did just remaster Turok. I don't remember whether or not it made it to the Switch or not, but they did remaster it. I know it's on.
They can put it on the 64 bundle. They could do that. I feel like that'd be something they could throw in there.
Well, I don't know if they have to remaster it, but if they could put Turok on there, I'd be happy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, just throw it on there. What else?
Tie with when we was talking about the whole DLC and the buying the extra. That's my whole gripe with the entire gaming industry. Period. Hitting them with the hard T. And he put AKA Destiny. Like, so I can Destiny 1, I was with the DLC, I was perfectly fine with. When they hit us with the Taken King, like that gave that game new life and I was on board the whole way through, but Destiny 2 has failed me a little bit.
Hey bro, listen. I told you Destiny 2 was garbage like a year ago.
You did. Like, and you know how hard I played Destiny.
I know.
I'm so far behind.
You trying to make it a thing.
I'm so far behind now.
You're not the only one.
Funny.
I'm trying, but it's just not hitting right now.
There's so much other stuff to play, and there are things that are doing so much right that like Destiny is just. I'm waiting for Destiny 3. I will give them another shot at Destiny 3. I'm not even considering Destiny 2 again. That joint's not. I haven't erased it. Actually, I did erase it from my console. Then I put it back on for extra light, and I didn't take it back off.
But it sounds like it's gonna come off.
I ain't going back in. I ain't going back in. Yeah, I'm not going. That's not happening. Yeah. Anything else popping in the chat?
I'm gonna say those are probably the two biggest things. Floyd said he's trying to see us in top spin.
Hey, Floyd. I don't know, bruh. I know you got the hand speed. Like I wouldn't play you in track and field, Slim.
Hell no. Hell no.
Is Topspin in the Xbox Live Marketplace right now?
Topspin?
Is that joint in there?
That joint better not be. It better not be. Because if it is, I tell you what it is. Rockstar Table Tennis in that joint. Pick that joint up.
Oh
that joint ain't no Topspin. It's like the closest thing we got.
Man, let's see.
We man, listen. We went to war on Topspin. It was like Topspin, Halo 2. Them two joints.
Yep.
Look, I've never like the amount of trash talking.
Topspin?
Slim. I'm talking about. Let me hit a lob over the net and you die for that joint and fall on your face trying to hit the joint and miss. I'm talking trash for like an hour. Even if I lose the match. Hey, so your man got that claim on his face?
If y'all could have been down there, we was having them doubles games, man. Oh my gosh.
Bruh, it was so bad. Like, it would be like we supposed to be playing Fight Night. Nah, bruh, put the Topspin in.
Topspin.
That's how you feel? That's how you feel? You don't want this Topspin? Me and my man right here? Me and my man stand? We about to body you. You don't want this Topspin, man? We team up on you. You know what I'm saying? You get the high pitch joint. Like, it gets serious. Topspin was a problem, man. I would be so amped if Microsoft brought that joint back. I'd probably flip a table if they announced that joint at a conference, bro. Topspin! Like, yeah, it'd be bad, man. They need
to get a real simulation tennis game back out there.
Oh man.
They need to get
it can't just be anything though.
It's gotta be.
It can't just be anything.
It's gotta be good.
Did y'all see that Sega dropped like a cryptic joint today?
Oh,
talking about
we about to
come in.
They about to change the gaming like. I don't know what that's.
It better be a new Virtual Fighter.
That would be Sonic.
You think they're gonna try to hit us with a Dreamcast too?
Because I just read that.
I think it's gonna be a Dreamcast too.
The Dreamcast, an Inception Dreamcast.
The Deception, drink Double D. That's what
Inception.
you're saying? Right?
Inception.
Yeah, that joint's not.
Nah,
Yeah, I don't know what they unless they get ready to announce Fantasy Star Online 3
that
because they've been
could
pushing
turn
2 so hard.
that could turn the world up a
I
little
don't
bit.
know what I
I
don't
don't
know
know
what
what it
Sega
is.
can say that would make you know what I mean. Like they got some franchises they've been holding on to, but like
Dreamcast Mini.
what is it?
You said Dreamcast Mini, possibly.
That'd be dope.
I don't think that's gonna flip the world. Don't get me wrong, the Dreamcast
I don't
solid,
think it'll
but
flip the world, but it would cause some rumbling.
well, whatever they hold on.
I'll
I'll
buy
say
it.
what that John what they
I'll
said.
buy it.
I would definitely buy that. I would definitely buy
I'll
that.
buy it. Dreamcast Mini, I'll buy that.
They say it's
I'll be
Constant.
all
gonna
over that.
it's
All
gonna
day.
rile up. It will rile up the video game industry. That's the term they use.
Right. Which could be doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. Again, I'll take a new Virtual Fighter though. I'd be amped for a new
Ellis
Virtual
said
Fighter.
Ellis said they're gonna hit us with the next Eternal Champions.
No. No. There hasn't been an Eternal Champion since the Genesis. It was the beginning and the end. That joint, no sir. We can get another golden. We can get like a vicious Golden Axe remake. They'll do that joint like Final Fantasy. Amp it up. Nah, that'll be garbage. Yeah, I don't honestly. I'm not sure what Sega could do. I mean, look, they might be talking about like Super Monkey Ball for real.
For all we know,
There's people who would be amped for that. That's you know what I mean. Samba de Amigo 2. Yeah, if I had to guess, I mean, they just did Streets of Rage 4.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're not gonna do a 5.
Look,
And he's out of there.
he done messed up the
What I'm saying
whole
is we're getting
thing.
back into the console game. So we're dropping a new console.
Dog, if they
I don't
even
have
announced that they were gonna drop a new
I
console,
don't have them dropping it. I don't have them dropping the console.
I don't know. I don't know.
Unless it's a mini. I don't have them dropping a console. I you know what? If it is a console, it has to be a handheld.
Now that would shake some things up. New handheld on the market.
Not really, because the Switch exists. Right now, nobody can get into the handheld market because the Switch. I mean, Nintendo's always dominated that market. Sega can't. Sega doesn't have. They don't have enough IP that has enough pull
Like Nintendo
to
says.
make me buy to make me buy a portable
A Game Gear.
Sega. Yeah.
Hey, Game Gear 2
2?
after all these years, and that joint's still gonna be as big as the original Game Gear.
Yeah, that joint will be. They hashtag after all these years. Hashtag off all these teams.
No,
That joint.
they released that joint. It's like, yo, we're gonna keep it classic. It's still gonna run on 8AA batteries or whatever it was that's in there.
That joint gonna be heavy as I don't know what, bro.
Hey, brick.
It's just. I can't hold it, man. That joint.
You know how hard it was to
That
find
thing
8
is
AA
self-defense.
batteries in the 90s?
Dude,
Yeah.
or trying to figure out which one of these batteries is super low. Which one can I just switch this one out with right quick?
Yeah, I can't.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I saw Jeff Keighley announce a bunch of stuff that's coming or whatever for the summer. Like I'm not, like whatever. Like I know that they're supposed to be. He has a couple more listed like
Mhm.
like reboots that are supposed to be coming.
Coming.
I'm not even gonna try to guess. I'll just wait to see what they are because I feel like there's a good chance there'll be ones that I don't really care about. Like Tony Hawk's probably the pinnacle of that, and I don't really know what they could do other than saying like, yeah, Mass Effect trilogy is real. You know what I mean?
Boom.
It's coming. You know, whatever. Like, I don't know what else I could do. I have been hearing rumors about Jack and Daxter
I did hear that.
remasters, remake.
Be true.
So that is a possibility.
Please be true. That'll make my day.
That's all you, buddy.
Yeah, that'll,
But-
that was one of my franchises. That's all solid.
Yeah, I mean, now that Insomniac is owned by PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
and they have multiple teams, they could have a team that's working on something like that.
Solid,
I
yeah.
mean, they could give it out to somebody because, like, Blue Point, who did the the remake for Shadow of Colossus, like they do super solid work, and they've been bragging about whatever it is that they're working on now is something major, and everybody's gonna be amped for it. So start giggling at.
Floyd talking about the game games. He said your mother mad because you stole the remote batteries.
All the remote batteries.
Yeah.
You had to take them out of the remote to every room in the house.
Out of every room in every room.
Yeah.
So you can get 20 minutes of play, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Outside. Yeah, that's real, man. That's real, man. That little LCD screen was burning batteries up, dog.
Oh,
Burning them up.
I used to lose the back to it. It would be like duct tape 8 batteries in the back of that.
only cool.
Yeah.
Only
Meaning
cool.
that the first time you move that joint too hard, that
Done.
duct tape falling.
Done.
One little battery come on, last joint turn off. You ain't save your game. You might as well forget.
Done.
Hey, man, I used to play the crap out of NBA Jam on Game Gear.
Damn.
That joint's garbage.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2 played the bejesus out of that joint on Game Gear. All of that. Anyway, speaking of Mortal Kombat, I need to get back to that. And I'm trying to get back on this Minecraft. Who jumping in?
I'm gonna do this Mortal Kombat. And then
You should. Look.
Maybe.
Everybody
Definitely
say
jumping on
it.
tomorrow.
All right.
Definitely
All
jumping on tomorrow.
Well, look, man, with that, we got to wrap this up. So I want to thank everybody for watching, for tuning in. I want to thank all the 3 of you for being here. Greatly appreciate you guys. These are the highlights of my weeks, you know. I mean, other than seeing my kids, I like seeing my kids. Like, don't, you guys are special, huh? But you're not
We
my
get it.
seeds.
We get it. No.
I know you do. Listen, all y'all who are watching, share this. Tell other people to watch it, because we do things and have things happening in the comments, and I've got trolls now, and I like that. Like, I've got trolls. So, let them know that we accept troll activity.
Mm-hmm.
We respond to it. We might have to boot you, but more than likely, we're just gonna say what we need to say and move on. So yeah, please share. Let other people know. If you got friends that like the same stuff that you like and they
Please
don't
do.
already like our page, if they're not already following us on social media, let them know to do that. We greatly appreciate it. You know what I mean? Take the link, share it out. You guys are the best. With that, we are out. Toodles and lube.